Is there a single desire which motivates you the most? If I had to list 4 of them, what would you say? Would it be money, affiliation, achievement, power, or all of them or some of them based on the context? Hi, and welcome to my Workplace Dynamics podcast. Today, I want to dwell a little deeper into the affiliation part. Harvard Professor Michelin once talked about 3 desires which he believes motivates people. He talked about achievement, he talked about affiliation, and he talked about power. Added money to it. In the workplace context, I thought money is naturally should be there. And I'm not talking about money today, but I want to talk a little about affiliation. How do we connect to the various spaces at work? I'm sure all of us connect to our manager. That's very tangible. We have a great relationship. We join or leave because of the manager, we say. And various things that we do or do not do for the manager. So the connection to the manager is a big one, isn't it? And even the other way around. If you're a manager, the connection to the person who's reporting. So I'm coming to the next one. What about the connection to the team? Even if you're not a manager, how about a peer group? I remember once I was working in an organization where I don't think we were a great brand, and I hated my manager, and it looked like we were a bunch of people, almost like a union, but we loved each other. There was great camaraderie. We were looking forward every Friday to go out for that lunch. And, we had a bunch of people who were reporting the same manager, and maybe that brought us together and the fun we had. And I don't think we thought about anything else but coming to the office just because we loved each other's company. And for me, that is more like your connection to, let's say, your team. And sometimes if you're a manager too, you will possibly have great relationship with the people who report into you. You may not have a great connection, let's say, to your boss. So for me, post the connection to the manager comes the connection with the co-workers or your reporting team. And next, possibly would be the role, though possibly connection to the role could be far more important, because when we join organizations, we say, I joined this for this role, my role is great, I get to make a great impact on this, it's a high visible role, that designation is here, oh, the role is up there, this is the role where I have the mandate to turn around the company, things like that. It's always about the role. And you ask anybody passing out of college or any CXO who's taking up a new job, they'll say, I'm taking this up for a role, most likely, right? So sometimes when you're working remote, let's say, in today's world, when you're working remote, I don't know whether you have time to connect with your manager or if there is anything to connect with the team, but the role becomes so important that transactionally you're sitting somewhere else, but you do it because of the role that you have. And the last one, the 4th one in my view, is the connection to the brand. When we're joining organization or we're introducing our employer in our ecosystem, friends, neighbors, enemies, whatever, and we talk about our brand. We say, look, I work for this company. But however, when you work within the company, are you really connected? For example, your organization posted a new update, something. Do you really go and like or repost it, or you wait for, or you're nudged by your marketing saying, please like, repost it? This versus that. How does that feel? Let's say there's a CSR event happening on a Saturday. Do you really turn up on your own, or you have to be nudged by your HR team saying, hey, show up and we want at least 50 people to turn up. So anything voluntarily that you do because of your own will and not because of a nudge, for me is a kind of a sense or a behavioral action that shows that you're more connected to the brand. Not to flaunt it outside in a place that I work for so-and-so company. So if we have to summarize, look at the connections, various connections in the organization. Are you more connected to your role? Are you connected more to the manager? Are you best connected to your team, peer group? Or are you connected to your brand or organization? So what is the meaning of all these things? I think if I'm running an organization, I would like to explore where are each one of the cohorts or members, or teams connected to in the organization. Is there a way we can have routines, rituals, which allows us to, 1, make these connections possible, or 2, make some of these connections stronger? And through that, we believe we can actually help the person get connected to other parts if they're only connected in one space. How do we do that? I believe each one of these 4 connections are executable by way of different routines. Starting point is awareness, and to look at various practices and rituals that people do which enables them to connect to any one of this. So I want to ask you today, which one of these desires motivates you the most? The money, achievement, affiliation, and power. Within that, you have to pick the connection and talk about connection a little more. Are you more connected to the enterprise or a brand? Are you connected more to the manager or to the team or the role that you got hired for? Let me know what you think. And thanks for tuning into my Workplace Dynamics podcast episode once again.